Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Porter.
Welcome to the Chicago Museum. We're privileged to take you on a tour of the museum today of some of the best PEZ
And Star Wars.
items that we have, and we want to thank Landon and Morgan for giving us this chance to show everything and to give you the first exclusive virtual tour. So I'm ready, Harrison Ford is ready, let's go. So I'm actually going to start the tour in our spare bedroom here. We got some overflow stuff. Got a vintage 1970s American red vending machine that dispenses dispensers, and a PEZ Girl poster from the Visitor Center signed by Gerda Jan. Got some old PEZ Girl outfits here, which are really cool. This first one was owned by Dora Dwyer. She was the controller and treasurer at PEZ USA. This one here is actually a lab coat for the factory in Hungary. You can see it says Besucher there, which means visitor in German. It's got the Haas PEZ logo on it. Really cool, unique piece. And then some old vintage girl outfits from the 1950s and 60s when PEZ girls would go to trade shows and hand out candy samples at the trade shows there. Really cool, rare items. I'm going to start the next part of the tour here in the hallway where we got some framed ads up. The first one here is this girly pinup calendar from the 1960s. PEZ actually gave that out at a candy trade show in Chicago, actually, in the 1960s there. Kind of cool. PEZ Erfrisch, German item. Bekommen Sie die PEZ box. Here you'll get the PEZ box, German stuff. Obviously, PEZ was anti-smoking, so you'll see a lot of ads like that, like the superhero, essentially saying that he'll give you a manly, fresh breath. Another no smoking ad. John Cena had I had this made by one of the artists from Mad Magazine, and when I met John Cena, he signed it. Same thing with Elvira here. I love Elvira. She's one of my heroines, and the comic book artist from her comic book drew this for me, and I had Elvira sign it when I got to meet her. Finn Balor item, which is kind of neat. And then some old PEZ Girl signs, pretty big. You don't see these too often either. Really cool items for PEZ Girls. So if we go in here, this is my paper closet. And it starts off with Playboys, signed by Pamela Anderson. But what I got in here is all my paper items, which I still have to go through more and sort better. But my goal is to one day have a PEZ library of all PEZ paraphernalia. So we'll start off there with all the books that are published on PEZ stuff. I've got a complete collection of PEZ Collector's News. It started out from volume 1 25 years ago, going to the current time. You'll see some of the older magazines there, the Plastic Candy Dispenser newsletter, Flip Top Preservation Society stuff. And then we've got all kinds of miscellaneous inserts and cards and advertisements and stuff. Just tons of paper stuff to sort through. All right, and here we go into the actual museum area. This is one of my absolute favorite pieces. It's a styrofoam sign from a trade show that PEZ used back in probably the 60s or 70s. Very big, very lightweight. It's the first item I actually put up in the museum here. And then you'll see a framed picture of where PEZ actually had it. On trade shows, you see it in the upper left-hand corner there. Just a really, really cool centerpiece of everything. Some really cool wooden cutouts made by Kevin Schweighofer that I got that I absolutely love. There's a cool PEZ vintage sign that's actually printed on glass, probably for displays or stores. Got some stuff from PEZmania here, and of course everyone's favorite PEZ girl. I met her, Gerda Jan, quite a few times now in Vienna and Linz in Austria, and had her sign some stuff there. Advertisement for Space Troopers, those robots, full-body robots. Oh look, it's stuff from Penny Resler, and welcome to the Chicago Museum sign. Another old ad, pretty neat. And a picture of all the PEZ factory workers from back in the day. Over on this side, we got an old Pizzazz ad and a bag for ladies to wear or cute gay men. Let's see, an old PEZ, I think that's probably from the 90s, PEZ German chalkboard. So a cafe could put out what they're gonna serve for the day. Some more ads. This is where I keep all my trucks. In the old Showtime displays. Unfortunately, they don't make those anymore. Tin sign. I've got this Peter PEZ rack that I was fortunate to get a few of, and I got it mounted to the wall here. And I just put my some of my favorite carded stuff, US stuff on here. Some errors, some fantasy stuff. I love that hairspray made by Stuart Cartwright. Just some current stuff. You'll see Mary Marilyn Monroe and Ladybug on there. Another vending machine, another red American vending machine. This one also still works, and you could put the vending boxes in it and they'll come out. Oh look, it's our wedding stuff up there. I had those made for wedding favors a couple years back in 2017. Got some Japanese stuff in there, some yo-yos. Yeah, just cool items, swag. Signed by Stanley. That's pretty cool too. Won that in charity auction or raffle. Got some autograph stuff over here. Oh wait, no, this is the entrance. You really want to see this. So this is the museum, ladies and gentlemen. Feast your eyes on all of that fun, cool PEZ stuff. Yep, Peter PEZ rack. That's pretty neat. Okay, so we got some autograph stuff over here. Star Wars stuff, Jason Momoa from Saturday Night Live, all that fun stuff. But this is the piece you really want to see. Stand By Me poster, of course, with the PEZ phrase on it, signed by Will Wheaton, Richard Dreyfuss, Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland. Of course, Corey usually has to personalize items, and I didn't want my name on it, so I had him write to PEZ on it. Addams Family, Masters of the Universe. Again, love me some Elvira. Got some cool art done by Emily Davis. Her father, Chad, collects. He's actually the one who got me into PEZ collecting. And you'll see them, her brother, Evan, and mom, Michelle, at PEZmania each year. Fun pieces. Some more advertisement stuff over here, old and new. You'll see some cool Barbies made by Natalie Bassano. More ads, miscellaneous He-Man stuff, and puppets. All right, 2 more vending machines. Here we go. One that dispensed Pezzy gum. That one's actually a repro one, but I love the design on it. And then the one on the left there is a vintage, legit one from Europe. This is kind of neat. Lantern, you don't see that very often. Miscellaneous carded stuff that I love. That's mostly European. Oh look, test pieces, Blue Pebbles. Look at that card for Tinkerbell. That's pretty neat. And the card over here, I've never seen that one before too, before I bought it. Some other cool random stuff. All right, now let's get to some dispensers. First case over here, we start off with, the PEZ dispensers that started it all, and that's the regulars. So we got some cool stuff in there, some stuff in cello. You'll see that one there. That's a test piece for a larger PEZ that was never produced. You'll see different personalized regulars, some advertising ones. This one's neat. That was made for the 5 millionth dispenser produced in the USA. One's given away at trade shows, on stands. This one over here, boop. That's one of my favorite ones. That's a psychedelic test piece that never actually came out. Some cool marketing ones. This one's neat too. You'll see this is a PEZ dispenser. It's got the normal PEZ thumb tab on it, but look, it's a circular one. I think that PEZ was, thinking maybe they could make their candy in circular form too, like Smarties or something, but they never did. So you don't see that very often. But those are the regulars. Then we start off, then we go to everyone's favorite PEZ Pal Pezzy. So some of the cool ones, I absolutely love the orange face ones. Those are Yugo ones. Knights in the front, a couple more orange face Yugo ones. Some rare ones too. You'll see the yellow hat Maha in there, pretty rare. I always love the salt and pepper shaker too, even though they look kind of weird. Oh look, Sean Peterson's wedding dispensers. They made it into the museum. Yay! Next shelf, more PEZ Pals. You'll see that lower level there is all made in Spain. PEZ Pals, super hard to find, so if you ever get your hands on some of those, they're quite collectible. Vintage bride there. More wedding dispensers. We've got 20. Juan, the UPS man, got his special dispenser, and the one from Shiho. Love you guys so much. You're part of the museum. Repro Admiral, that was made of the resin, and then Alpine Man. Cool stuff. Next row, we go to some of the humans and bicentennials and Halloween. You'll see I got a full set of the Eerie Specters. And if you watch Brian Traumann's videos, you'll know how to distinguish between real and fake Mr. Mystics. Always good to know. Those PEZ Pals on the top there are fantasy that are done by an artist, and not legit PEZ, but I do love artists too. So I collect those. This box is kind of neat. I won that in an auction. Don't know what it was used for, but it came with that advertising regular in it and those candy packs, so I love it. I got some Easter and Christmas and Halloween vintage stuff in here. My pewter set, I don't know if that's a full set or not. Maybe someone can tell me later if it is. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Stem variation on the Icy Bear there, the T-stem. Those are really hard to find. I'm going for decent money. Then a prototype Monopoly game, and I've seen a few different variations and sizes of those out there. And then my vintage Smurfs. Next cabinet we'll go to, we'll start off over here, top with the circus and Kooky Zoo and stuff. Oh, look at that Funko and Cello. That was my husband's first Christmas present to me ever. That's when I knew he was a keeper. These ones here are all fantasy painted, but I think they're really cool. The ones in back are legit, so that's actually a legitimate dispenser back there, that yellowish orange donkey. A couple different other colored items that you'll see. That's fun. Next level is my Vucos. Vuco is my army. You don't get better than Vuco. Another one, and this one's in polybag, but I know it's legitimate. It has the right candy packs and stuff in it. And then this one's actually over here in cello too. So I have 3 Vucos in polybags or cellos, which I just love. And of course, the original Asterix set. The only thing that beats Asterix set, though, is the World's Fair dispenser. One of the rarest dispensers out there. The history behind that, Tennessee is spelled wrong, so they most likely didn't give it out at the World's Fair in Tennessee in 1982, so that's why it's so hard to find. Got some vintage Disney stuff, including a full set of soft heads, plaque from Dora when she worked at PEZ there. Mary Poppins with painted cheeks. Those in the know, it's not just the painted cheeks, it's actually a mold difference. Those are also good to know if you ever find it, because that's an expensive dispenser. We got some more vintage down here, Disney stuff, cartoons, miscellaneous ones, some Baloo variations. Gotta love variations, some miscellaneous advertising. Down here we've got superheroes, Pink Cool Cat, DC soft heads. Check out these ones though. These ones are really neat. Batwoman or Batgirl and Wonder Woman, they're actually different molds. The heads are completely different than normal. They're painted different. Wonder Woman actually looks like a drag queen, but those are 2 of my favorite and the only ones that I actually know of that came that way or were made that way. So pretty hard to find. Full set of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Funky Faces. And we go over to Pop PEZ and Funko. You'll see the mascot here. Freddy Funko, got a big statue of him just to represent. Here's all the Funko stuff I've got. I've got pretty much most of them that are out there. And then you'll see I've got some of the rarer ones too, like gold Freddy Funko. And then some of the PEZ Pops that were actually made. And then autograph dispensers. I love autograph dispensers. And for all you sticker sluts, there you go. The New York Comic Con Boss one. Autographed stuff, including Freddy, and then of course some of the Funko PEZ stuff that they made, the wobblers that I don't actually think was sponsored by PEZ, but they made them anyway. Probably got in trouble for some of those, but they're really cool, even though they're hard to find. Shelf over here, we go to trucks. Let me move something out of the way. Come on, Freddy, you can move. So I got all my trucks and cars up there. Definitely not a complete set, but they're fun to collect whenever you find them. New trains that just came out recently, and some of the stuff from the 90s, common stuff, but fun stuff to collect. You'll see Bunny from Judy Mesler in there. I love that one. She's dancing because her stem's melted. So fun. So we've got different holidays down here. PEZ Peace Fan, just got that in actually. Sometimes you find just stuff that's not super hard to find, but you think, I never actually bought that. So gotta add it to the collection. And with all of these cabinets, you can't forget to look up fun stuff on the top. Those are some of the banks that were given away in the early 2000s at Funko Fridays. Super hard to find. They're holding PEZ dispensers. I think the only one I'm missing is Batman. Some old tins for the Fizzy PEZ, also hard to find from Europe. Some of the space guns, rotating rack, Labatt Blue, Giant, more Barbies made by Simone Ruckert and Natalie Bassano. Fun stuff. This is my absolute favorite item. That's an old display, probably from the late 1920s, early 1930s, when PEZ was actually in lifesaver type style packaging before they actually made them into the bricks. Over here, we've got giant stuff. A lot of those are actually autographed by some of the actors. Up here, got the presidents, got some fantasy stuff made by different people up there. Oh, I love these monorails. Those, I just got those. Thank you, Landon. I absolutely love the monorails. I think they're such a cool and fun way to display them. Fantasy He-Man stuff. More monorails, Disney Commons stuff. More Commons, but fun 90s stuff. Oh, those watches are neat. I never took them out of the box, but maybe one day I will. And some more over there. Up here, we'll go to the top of these shelves. Got some stuff made by Angelo up there. Cookie jars, some licensed by PEZ, some not. Some advertising stuff. Oh yeah, Big Brother's watching you. We're on camera. Oops, be careful. Star Wars stuff here. Some fantasy stuff in the front made by Rory Harms and Laura Teasley. I love all the bling that she puts on them. She does such an amazing job. I think maybe a prototype box for Star Wars, vending box, not sure. That was a gift from Chris Jordan. Absolutely love it. But those are all my Star Wars stuff. Here we go, just more miscellaneous Commons. A lot of you have these in your collections, but you'll see some fun stuff like the Less Than Jake one that was actually hidden at each concert, and whatever fan found it got to keep it. Yeah, just fun odds and ends on each shelf. All my sports ones down here, and some trucks that didn't fit over on that other side. No, look, it's of course the official mascot of PEZ, Peter PEZ, in the blow up form. Over here we got complete set, I think it's complete, of Barkies. So those are pretty neat. I love all the Barky ones. I love it all. I mean, don't we all love it all? Nice fantasy dispenser there made by Kelly Jo. And we've got, we start some of the convention dispensers and some fantasy dispensers in general. Kind of all mixed in there a little bit. It's so hard once you get it in there to properly display it all. But all those front ones are definitely fantasy, but just some really cool colors. Got a little bondage S&M Darth Vader made by Angelo. Love that one. That actually is a working dispenser, mini dispenser. Some licensed stuff, full set of the Hinge boxes in there, stuff from Thailand. Hard to find tins from Australia, body part stuff, different packaging. Yep, all kinds of fun stuff in there. Man, this has to go quickly. I didn't think, I thought there'd be nothing to talk about, but I got a lot here. Vending machine corner. No one puts vending machines in the corner. Well, I do, because that's where they fit, in between the cabinets. But these are more old European ones. Some dispense actual dispensers, and some just do candy packs. You can see some Stand By Me merchandise down there, some PEZ skis. Just really, really neat. Up there we got salesman display, other displays. When we get to the autograph cabinet, Porter and I go to Comic Cons and get autograph stuff all the time, so a lot of the stuff is autographed. You'll see this row is Star Wars stuff. We did actually get to meet Carrie Fisher before she passed away, so we got stuff signed by her and Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill. Second display of autograph stuff. You'll see Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver in there. Miscellaneous stuff, He-Man, Star Trek. Again, the people who are in Stand By Me. A lot of Power Rangers. We met tons of those. I've actually had one of the Power Rangers, the guy who plays Skull, has been here and signed my guest book. He's seen this collection. He thought it was pretty neat and took some PEZ home for his son. We got more stuff up here. Walking Dead, display boxes. Some really cool rare stuff in here. What do we got, you say? Well, let's find out. Let's see, we've got Make-A-Face in there, Swarovski crystals, the really hard to find Mickey ones. We've got a salesman display on card, the Swarovski Mickey and Ladybug given us by such good friends for our wedding. We love you. And oh, look at that. Oh yeah, Pet Set of the Year. Cha-ching. Some cool rare stuff, bodies, old display stuff, old packaging stuff, PEZ Girl box. Those are hard to find. Dispensers that are carded in squares, on square packaging, full box of regulars. Got one of those for sale. Very cool packaging variations from Europe and in the US throughout the years for no-foot stuff. Hard to find there. Tins, salesman samples. Here we go down here. miscellaneous, more tins and clickers and wallets with the pins. Got all the die stuff too, mold and dies. So PEZ used these to, you know, fabricate the dispensers and show what they would look like full set of the Halloween, which is really rare. Of course, Princess Leia stuff for the Boy Sound Gathering that Rory made for me this year. Down here we got more of some of the molds that they made, and then some of the dies used to actually stamp out the candy, and some of the stems, including PEZ Pal head. And then up here we got more candy, and more candy. This is all newer European stuff, so 1990s and newer. I'm gonna go through this real fast. Just different types of packaging stuff that you've seen throughout the years, including like the little mini mints and the round the round candies, Fizzy Pez, and the like. All right, next stop, vintage candy. Here we go. On top we've got rotating rack. That's really nice. Some old boxes, candy boxes, and a full display of football players. That's where I keep all of my miscellaneous candy packs. Vintage stuff here. PEZ first came in cigar boxes, so those are pretty neat. The PEZ drops, that's actually the Lifesaver style that I was referring to. Some old candy boxes there from a long time ago. I just love this stuff. I can't believe that a lot of it still exists, and every once in a while you get a good find of someone who's selling this stuff. And it's just, the graphics from that time were just absolutely amazing. Even if I have boxes that are empty, I still just absolutely love them. Some golden brick ones there, Traubenzucker, more with the PEZ Girl cartoon version on it. We got the double packs, including the homemade Eat Me one. That's a fun one to collect. PEZ Pizzazz, you don't see those too often, especially the drops. Those are super, super, super hard to find. Over on this side, oh look, it's a full display box of vintage Easter stuff. You don't see that too often. I absolutely love that part. Love that one. More full boxes here. Just love the graphics on them and some variations to the boxes. Some look the same, but they're actually not. Some from Japan. These metal ones are actually from France. And then full display boxes over here. We got a whole display box of whistles, including, well, I won't read it out loud, but you can read it. Full-bodied Santas, race cars in cello, full box of vintage Green Hornets, trucks, Christmas, another second box of regulars. Told you I had one for sale, because I got two. The robots, including a special one done by Ford Motor Company at the base there, and a couple more boxes. And then last but not least, to show over here, Peter Pez. This is a cool rack for all my vintage carded display. This wooden display was actually made in Chicago by a display company. It's just a cool way to display all of your vintage card stuff. Some people have asked me about Porter's stuff too, his Star Wars collection, so I'll give you a quick glimpse into that. So he's got his own room with all of his Star Wars stuff, and he has figures signed by Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. A lot of those are all autographed figures. We get into some newer stuff, but again, all autographs. Here's some older stuff, some wax packs from the 70s and 80s, some of the vintage carded stuff, bubblegum stuff, lunch boxes, obviously any collectible stuff, just like we would collect it if it were PEZ. This is some newer stuff. He's got some of his trading cards over here and some of the autographed masks and the huge sail barge. He's got a comic book stand that he's got a complete run of the Star Wars comics that came out from Marvel. And this over here is his baby. This is so awesome. So it's a display stand that actually was made, a cabinet that was made to look like the card backs from the vintage figures. So he's got all complete set of the vintage figures up there. And then he collects autographed comics too, that are made to look like the figures. So we're fortunate to meet a lot of the actors before they passed away and get a lot of that stuff signed. Well, I think that's it for the tour. Thank you so much for checking everything out. We hope you enjoyed it. And what? You want into? Okay. We got one more special guest who wanted to make an entrance. Hi, I'm Belinda, and I want to be your new PEZ girl. We already have a blonde PEZ girl, everyone knows Gerda, and we have a brunette PEZ girl, everyone knows Natalie. But what about the redhead? We need a nice fire engine redhead PEZ girl, and I think we should start a campaign so that I, Belinda, would be your new PEZ girl.
I'll be a PEZ girl for 73. I've got something I know you want. It's the new 10-cent bits. choose. Kindly collect 212-476-2700, extension 000.
Please call for help. Please!